Okay, guys. So today we're gonna hike right up in here, and I'm taking a phone on purpose, but it also might rain. But look, this right here is probably where a camper is gonna be sitting. I've learned that I'll probably have to actually do it off the grid style for a while right here. There's nothing wrong with that. I might have to, get me a truck to pack water in and stuff like that. But there is water hookup, there is electric hookup. I just have to get it hooked up. So maybe I won't have to live that frugal. Uh, but I'm going to try to get water, at least electric, to the camper, and then I can figure water out. But this is my view. This is all going to be just a big grassy field until whoever decides, if we decide to put a garage down there or whatever, as you know. But the camper, since I do not want my son having to grow up in a camper, is going to sit here. This road ended up getting really steep right here, but on up through there, right in here, is a nice leveled up spot that we're going to go and look at. And yesterday, I was hanging out here, and I hung out here plumb past dark. And I know a lot of people might not believe in stuff like this, but I am interested in the crypto stuff. But I was hearing tree knocks from up there. I heard it once, never heard it again, but still yet, I've never heard that before in my life. That clear and that vivid. It was just a click, 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 click on a tree. And I've heard stuff walking all up in there. So I'm taking a video camera, both for evidence if something happens, and two, to make a cool video if we get out of here. And like I said, it's probably gonna rain. So this thing needs to be closed up. The windows need to be rolled up. And I'm gonna lock it because I'm gonna show you all the plan for the future. Well, I'll probably leave this one cracked because this thing's really bad to lock itself. I can get my hand in there to unlock it. Alright. Hello, everybody. Okay, so every time I get here, I have to use the bathroom, so I did that up there, and I decided to go ahead and get a video camera and come back. So when you start up through here, as you can tell, either way, as you can tell, there's a pretty definitive game trail here, and you can look straight up through it. It could be water running down. That's what my stepdad thinks, but I think it's a game trail. It's too perfect to not be a game trail. But the problem with all this is it's all field dirt. Where this was logged and coal mined and everything else, this is all every bit field dirt. And it's good for a driveway. It'll be good for a camper. But that down there is going to be too soft for a septic tank and a house and stuff like that. So we're going to cut in up here. And I know I didn't want any hillside, but when it's your only, when this is going to be your view and all this is cleared up, I think that it'll be perfect. I'll stay in the camper and then get my cabin put up here. So I need to watch my step. I need to watch my step very carefully. Maybe I'm dealing with something that's not a cryptid. Huh. Trying to watch my step. This is a very snaky place. But this being as far as I might go, you can see this is all very level right here. And it's level all the way out. That road can get cut right up to the top and then leveled right off, and I could put a cabin up here, up in the woods more. I would actually be hidden a lot better. But yeah, it's I don't know if they're talking about here or right on up there, because it's really, really level up there. Only thing is my driveway would end up being really steep at the very beginning. But that doesn't really concern me all that much. I'm trying to figure out. See, this is stuff I do in the winter time because I do not like a snake. I'm terrified of getting on one. I do not want the chance getting on a snake. So winter time, be ready, you know, fall and winter, be ready for some wood exploration around this part. But right now, that is just a bit dense for my swimming trunks and tennis shoes. If I had known I'd be doing this, I would have wore something different. But I've wore boots my whole life. I just now started wearing tennis shoes more, and I feel like I can run a marathon because I've been packing around heavy boots all day long for years upon years. You wouldn't believe how strong it'll make your legs. But now here we are again. Like I said, the cabin's going to be on up and around here. And then that's when I'll do an actual good septic tank and stuff like that. Because this road, if I'm guessing, they're going to take this road on up to that cleared spot and then clear all that off. I'm hoping that they leave most of the vegetation because I want that to be my driveway. And then it'll cut back this way on up there. I took that Explorer all the way to right there. It gets pretty steep right there, but then again, they was just pushing that. Well, they could go on, or they could cut it down just a little better up through there. They could cut it down a whole lot better. It's going to be steep still, but like I said, wintertime rolls around, I don't feel like trying to negotiate this hill. I could either park right there, or, I mean, I'm going to be debt free, so it's not going to mean nothing to me to take a snow day off. My thing is getting me a cabin set up there, get my house sold and get the camper like I want to do, and start off. That's where I need to get right now. I need to get set up right here in a camper, and I gotta obviously wait for it to completely be done up here. But there's gonna be some things that isn't ideal for the time being, but you know, it's a sacrifice that you got to take whenever you're wanting to do this. Like when I get a cabin sitting up on top of the hill, I'm still gonna live in this camper because I'm gonna work until I get that cabin paid off, And then I'm going to start putting money into the cabin and fix it and get it where I want it to be. And I'm thinking if my porch is sitting up there real high and mighty up in there, I might build me a staircase that comes all the way down the mountain, all the way to here. That way, because I'm only going to have room to park one vehicle up there. This right here is probably going to be the parking spot for, let's say, my Explorer. If I need to use my truck one day, I'll put the Explorer here and get the truck and back it up there to haul trash. I'll do that every Friday or something. But, you know, for the most part, vehicles will probably be sitting here if I have more than just what I'm daily driving. Or if I get a car that won't make it up that hill or something. This right here will end up being the parking spot for them. Because you see how it kind of curls in, the driveway curls that way. There's plenty of room here for a pretty good sized truck. If I put it close to that bank and backed it on up. But this is where I'm at. It's where I've been all weekend, and I don't regret it a bit. I have been able to ignore everybody that I've wanted to ignore this weekend. I notice a difference whenever I leave here and I go back home. I go back home, sit on my porch, and it's like car after car after car, and then people come by and assume that because I'm on my porch, I want to associate. That's not the case. I just want to sit on my porch in peace. But this is what we're going to get into today. I'm going to walk yins down. I'm going to show you how good this is starting to flatten out. So I've been taking the Explorer up and down it and up and down it and up and down it. I'm going to try to get them to make the driveway go straight out. Put a culvert in right there and make the driveway go straight out. That way I can gate it about where this tree is. That just makes it a straight shot on up through there. And then that can be gated separately. But the road can still curl down and I can use whatever. I can do whatever I need to do. But I kind of like the driveway doing what it does here. I kind of like the curves. That tree is going away though, so it's not going to make any sense to have that curve right there. This tree's going away. I think they're afraid that it's a gum. If it is, then it slide us a little bit of wind and knock it over. Just trying to get rid of the stuff that's going to be problematic, and that's obviously dead. Just trying to get rid of the stuff that's going to be problematic before it becomes a problem. Falls on a vehicle or something. But I think it'd be cool to be down here looking up and seeing the porch of a cabin up on top of that knoll. I think that would be neat. These rocks that are standing up. I'm going to take these rocks. And I got to show you the rest of the property because I don't think I did that very well. Might have. I don't know, but I got to watch for snakes. This place is terrible for copperheads. And rattlesnakes. Copperheads and rattlesnakes are both bad here. But there's the creek. It's been rerouted and widened out just a little bit so that it goes more that way and back into the woods. It's a crazy transformation. Right there's where we used to sit. Right there's where I used to sit and make videos. I bet y'all wouldn't believe it when I tell you my 5-year-old little brother drove that thing by himself. Oh. But yeah, right here. Right here is where I sat. Never would have thought it would look like that when it was done, though. I thought the tree line was going to end right here. But no. I'm going to get to use most of it up through there. It's going to be... Though that it's sad that it's not really useful down here, which I don't see. I don't know really why. I think it's just too soft. But up there, virgin ground. That's what it is. I'll be able to do my septic tank or whatever I need to do. It's level right there too. They was saying something about if I wanted to go right there. But, you know, the more I think of it, the more I really like this driveway. I want to kind of be up high so that I can look down and see the property, and I can see from my porch up here who's coming up the driveway. And if it's cleared off or it's wintertime or whatever, I can see if there's anybody down here. But then again, I'll be far enough away from the road that I ain't really going to get bothered. I can sit on my porch up there, and unless you're going really, really slow, you're not even going to see me sitting there. But when I get home, my motto is, if my gate's closed, I don't want company. If my gate is open, you're welcome to come in. But for the most part, my gate will probably stay closed. I'll be up there. For the first, I don't know how long, I'll probably be right here though. This is all, I'm going to put gravel on all this. And, camper going to be in this area somewhere. It's just going to be better. See, I was thinking they was going to let me put a camper down there. But I don't really like the thought of being in a camper in a wide open spot like that for some reason. I want it on up the hill here so that you have to work a little bit to get up here. But I'm tickled with it. I think it's awesome. A little cabin up there with a wood stove. Oh man, that's my dream, and that's what I'm gonna make it. It's time to make dreams come true, people, and this is the start. I'm very happy everybody's following along. I'm really glad. This is exciting. This is something that I've wanted for a long, long time. Never would have thought this land would look like this when it was cleared off. I also never thought that it would allow me to actually have a place up on the top of the ridge looking down, but that's what's going to happen. Both here in the camper and, you know, up there, I can look down here. But either way, I think that it would be cool, since I'm eventually going to park vehicles here where the camper is going to be sitting, to start about right here and start a staircase and go up to a landing and then flatten it out a little bit and then have another staircase going all the way up to the cabin. Or maybe just a staircase up the steep part, because that's not that bad steep. You know, I could cut me a cool little trail out going up to the cabin. I'm going to have a vehicle up there. But in the times when I get home and I know I'm going to be driving the truck to haul garbage or something the next morning, I'll just park here with that. Because I'm keeping that around. That's a good daily driver. I enjoy driving it. It's very practical, but I need me a good practical truck too. So if my neighbor doesn't let me have my dang 85 back that he bought for nothing, that still pisses me off. I mean, it just irritates me so bad that I'd get screwed over like that. But you know, here I am. Eventually, I'm probably not even going to talk to them people. I'm probably not going to talk to any of them in the end. Oh, you find out who your friends are in life. Whenever you hardly ever have any company at your house, and they live right around the road, it kind of shows you that they don't really want to be around you. So that's the way I take it. And it's both from family and friends. If you guys never make the effort to come and see me, I assume that you don't want to be around me. So be it. I don't need you. I don't need you in my life. I have made myself very content being alone, and at this point, it's kind of a dangerous thing because I am okay being alone. I am content. I mean, look at what I'm doing here. Look at what's getting accomplished. And I'm not dealing with people's bullshit. I'm not dealing with relationship bullcrap. And that's the mindset that a lot of men need to get into these days, because it's just not. Unless you find just a rare apple, relationships are a sour patch these days. Even friendships, you don't have people that are going to help you out just for the sake of helping you out. They're going to benefit somehow, some way from it, or they're not going to help you out at all. But I digress. I had to have a little talk session there. I apologize for that. You guys don't probably come here for that. If you do, let me know in the comments. I got a lot of stuff I could say that you'd probably agree with. But, yep, there's my little game trail that someday I might actually turn into a trail. If I do a staircase there and a platform, I might make the trail come along here and hook into that game trail that's already there. Because it's not really steep. I mean, it goes up pretty good, but it's, when you've lived in the mountains, walking up hills just second nature to you. You've lived in the mountains your whole life. Oh, I know I get out of breath easy because I've not done it in so long. I don't hike like I used to. All right, time to talk. As you guys, the ones that have followed for a long time, used to know, I used to be a very active person. I used to get out and hike and go here and go there. I was always in the woods. I was pretty fit. Past at least 4 years or 5, I've just really slowed down doing anything. And I'm finally getting that back where I feel like doing stuff again. And I feel like getting out and about and doing things again. And I'm starting to feel better. And a lot of it is the stress that's been taken off of me. The stress, guys, I know that it probably will go in one ear and out the other. But if you're one of these people that are dealing with, you got a big house and it's a lot of money and it keeps you stressed out, and you can't hardly do anything, and you got a good paying job, and you still can't, make ends meet. You and your spouse, or just you, or whatever, are struggling. I urge you guys to take a step down. Sell the things you don't need. Live a little bit frugal. And in the end, you're going to be coming out a whole lot better. You're going to find you a place like this that's already done this way, and you can buy it, put you a little cabin on it, and in the end, you're going to be a whole lot happier. I mean, and that might not be for everybody. You might enjoy your big house and stuff like that. And if that's the case, then I can't say nothing to you. You like what you like, you do what you want to do. But I urge people, with the way that the world is going, to try to find something you can do. Try to find something you can do, somewhere you can go where it's not so stressful, because I feel like my generation is all going to die in their 40s due to stress-related issues because of the way the world is today. And Lord knows I work with a 19-year-old boy, and he is just wide open, which he's a lot skinnier too. He's built about like my buddy Peyton. He can outwork me very easy because, I've always been a bigger feller. I wouldn't consider myself fat, but I've always been built bigger. And it's hard for me to do the acrobatic stuff that he does. He climbs on top of stuff, and he can roll around on the floor all day long, and he feels fine. I roll around on the floor all day long with him, and when I get home, I feel so beat to death. But I like my job, so, I mean, it is what it is. I like it there, so I will do that. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not a lazy person. It's just some people can do things that other people can't. And I told him, I said, man, I can't do the stuff you do. I can't run with you all the time. Don't. And then he calls me an old man, which I guess I'm getting there. But he said, hey, you're just an old man. Yeah, I guess so. But the conversations are nice. They're entertaining. They're funny. We have a good time. And that's what matters. The people that you work with is what makes the place. We don't have a really over-controlling boss or nothing like that. So that makes it nice. But there's still a point. There's still a point where you got to say, man, you got to slow down a little. And he was working me pretty good there one day, and I just started slowing down. I went and got me a bottle of water and stood around for a minute and drank a bottle of water. I'd like to get this done. Well, I don't know what to tell you, because I need a water break. I'm gonna take a water break. I said, man, you gotta learn that these companies, though we have a good job and stuff like that, and our boss is good, and our boss cares for people, that doesn't mean that the company gives a shit. That the company's going to replace you within a week of you hurting yourself on the job. You go to work, and I feel like your job shouldn't be a test of your acrobatic abilities. It shouldn't be. I do believe that you ought to put the work in to do what you got to do, but when you need a water break, take a water break. If you need a smoke break, take a smoke break. And that's what we do. But he just wants to run wide open. And I'm thinking, dude, I've got 9 years on you. I can't do the stuff you do. Back when I was 18-year-old, if you guys have been following me for that long, I know one of you have. But when I was 19-year-old, I was a skinny old fox. And I could do I was very quick. I was doing physical training, trying to get into the military and stuff like that. I mean, I was in pretty good shape over the years. A relationship that turned sour, and all the stress from that, plus the stress of the house ever since me and her got it. Then getting left with 3 dogs and a cat to take care of when she left, along with my son, and along with the $1,000 a month mortgage, I've noticed my health went into the pot. And here, since we've been doing this, and I've been walking around on the property, and I've been having a better work ethic because I see what's coming of what I'm doing finally. I have a whole lot more energy. I feel a whole lot better. I'm not staying sick all the time. And that's the reason. Stress is the killer. It's not nicotine. It's not alcohol. It's not these things that people say. You can drink 5 energy drinks a day and you're still going to come out better than somebody who's stressed out. And I'm sorry, but material possessions are not worth your family having to dig an early grave for you because you stressed yourself to death over a job or something like that. And that's why I want to be debt free. I want to, if something happens to my job, I don't want to be in the position that I've been in. This fly is about to make me mad. This fly, let's see if it comes back. It keeps landing on my arm. About to make me mad. But my job, I know if something happened to that job right now, I've got the option to go ahead and sell the house and put the camper up here, and I could live here right now. I've got that option. We've talked about that. I can do that. I can sell out. I can pay off all my debt. I can get myself a camper, and I can just move right on up here anytime at this point. But I want to make sure it's all done so that I can get my cabin put up there. When I become debt free, then I will go and rent to own a shed, and I will work until that's paid off, and then I will keep working until I get it fixed up the way I need it fixed up. When I get it all squared away and stuff like that, then I get to pocket most of my paychecks, other than water and electric and whatever they're going to want for rent on this property. That's I think it's $250. That's still equaling up to a whole lot less than what I've been paying. I can actually put money up. I can put money back. If I want a 4-wheeler, I can put money back until I save up $4,000 or $5,000, and I can go buy one with cash. And I can do that stuff slowly. I have to go in debt for it because I don't need it right now. If I need a 4-wheeler, if I need to use a side-by-side, they've got 3 or 4 up there on them, right there, up there at the farm. I can go and borrow, let's see, they've got a Razor, they've got one of them Massimo Bucks. That's a pretty good little side-by-side. I've had it for years. And then they've got a mule. I personally like the mule. It's a 610 mule. I would go up there, and all it would take was me saying, hey, I need to borrow that mule. And I could bring it right down here and use it for what I need to use it for and take it back. Do I want to be let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? Dependent on them? No, not forever. I want to have my own pickup truck to haul garbage off and haul firewood in, because when I put a cabin up there, it's definitely getting a wood stove. I want a wood stove. That is what I want. So that's what's going to go up there. That or a full-on fireplace. But I will do a wood stove in that. And in the back part, the bedrooms or whatever, if I put a garage right here, or, whatever, which I might actually put a garage right here, then my propane heater will go in it, or it'll go in the back rooms. If the wood stove don't keep it heated up good enough. But then that window air conditioner, oh yeah. I get one of them little sheds, insulate it really well. I'm not going to have an issue, because I have got black all in my eyes. See it through the camera. But that thing keeps my house cold. I mean cold. 65 degrees cold. You can't sit in the living room without a cover. And I can only imagine when I downsize, because that's going in my camper. I'm hooking that straight up to the electric, and I'm putting that in my camper, and I'm setting it on 65. When I get home and I want air conditioner, that baby's going to be cold. I'm putting that right in that camper, and then, you know, I've got a camper sitting here, let's say, however I end up setting it. And then I have a carport over top of that camper, but when the camper gets pulled out and sold, when my cabin is done, that money's going to go back into the garage that's left here from the carport. See, I'm going to put a carport over the camper and then make it where I can pull the camper out of it when I decide to. It's not going to be permanent structure unless I just decide that that's what I want to stay in. If it's sufficient enough, if I get one that's nice enough and sufficient enough for my son to grow up in, and he's got his own space and his own room, stuff like that, I probably will just solid mount it to the ground, and that's where I'll stay. But the really nice ones that I've been looking at's $25,000, and I don't know if I can swing that, because I'm only going to make about 30 on my house if I get 100 grand for it. You know, I'm only going to make around 30,000, and I have a lot of debt to pay off. With that 30,000, I've got this Explorer, I've got an $18,000 personal loan, so there goes most of that. The rest of it's going to have to be camper fund, and you can find nice ones for that price, but nothing like that. But if I decide to go that route and stay in a camper, I'll put it up on the hill. Well, up there on the hill. Still yet. And I'll hook it up to an actual septic tank, and I'll hook it, you know, it'll have nice water, nice electric. It'll have all the necessities. I'm not going to make my son grow up like that, and not in a small little teeny tiny camper, because I already feel like I failed that kid enough. But when you look out here and you see all this land that's all going to be fenced and gated, you know, my son can get out here on his four-wheeler and ride all over these. He can hill climb right here if he don't tear it up too bad. You know, he can do whatever he wants to do out here. He can run and play. He's got room. And he's got a little uncle, my little brother, that's 5-year-old, and he's 2. They're close in age. Not too close, but they're close enough. That lives right up the hill that he can go play with, and at any point, you know. And the thing of it is that's the life I wanted for my kid. That's the childhood that I had. I was able to get on my four-wheeler and ride and stuff like that. So, look here. I hope I can catch this. Look here. This is what I love about this place. Can you see the tail? That's a white-tailed deer. Right there on that game trail. I'm sitting here talking really loud too. And it's just right there. I hope it's a deer. I seen brown. Trying to sneak. I want to get a better shot of it. Ah, they're gone, I guess. They're still up there, but they're out of sight now. But there was a pretty big influx of vehicles that just went by, a truck and a camper and somebody else that's just being nosy. I'm not putting up with that. I hope they know that. They come by here and slow down and sit and stare at me, they're going to start getting this. Piss off. Leave me alone. That's the brownest deer I've ever seen. That thing was a golden brown. That thing had the prettiest color on it, and I couldn't catch it on video because it got too far out. That was one of the prettiest colored deers I've seen. Deers. One of the prettiest colored deer I've ever seen. Deers. Listen at me sounding like the hick that I am. Alright, so this is a 41-minute long video, and I appreciate everybody who sat around and listened to me bullshit. And I'm going to give y'all a parting shot. That's a new thing I can do now. And we'll see you all later. And keep it real.